Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. So we've had a bunch of questions come in, so we're going to try our best to answer these. First question, can an Amritari marry a non-Amritari? Baji, would you like to start?
If we're talking in the realms of ideals and trying to develop your Sikhi path, ideally you both want to be of the same dharam. 5 ideals when you're getting married to someone. Dharam, Karam Dharam, name, brat, puja. And Gurbani talks about these as well. Karam Dharam, name, brat, puja, par, brahm, bin, jana, duja. That when you're looking for an ideal wedding partner, we these days may look for lots of different things. We may talk or look for looks, we might look for education, we might look for background, we might look for jat, path, and all of these kind of things that have got nothing to do with our Sikhi. So if we're talking about a Sikhi ideal of someone who is on this path of Gur Sikhi, spiritually wanting to become one with God, you need to find a partner with whom your karam, so your actions, your dharam, your faith, name, your daily routines, brat, the person that you would go through penance for, and puja, the person that you worship, needs to be the same. So ideally, they definitely need to be of the Sikh dharam, and that's a minimum, because otherwise, if they're not of a Sikh dharam, they don't match those 5 at all.
Buddy, what if let's say the Singh, he's a Amritari, right? But his Sikhi is not on the same level as the non-Amritari. The non-Amritari is actually way better than theirs. They do more bhakti. They're the ones that are influencing them to do more Sikhi. What about that?
So that's what I was going to say. If those things match, then that is the foundation. The ideal is that they're both Amritari. But in terms of that foundation of Karam Dharam Name Brat Puja, so basically other faiths people, no, don't go there. Yeah. If they're of Sikh Dharam, depending upon that journey, ideally they should be Amritari.
Yeah, I mean, Punjabi culture and tradition is we try and match everything: height, weight, education, salary. We try and match it, and thus equals successful relationship. That's how we've kind of done it, Punjabi tradition. But we've had, I think there's been Rayatname where it says a Sikh should marry a Sikh. And what we're saying qualifies as a Sikh is that Amritari or that subsequent ko hukum hai Guru mani or Granth, as long as you set Guru Granth Sahib Ji as your Guru. And and most of all, does it happen? Has it happened in India? Has it happened in here? For a long time, has non-Amritaris been marrying Amritaris?
It's probably happened before in the past where kind of Sikhi became less officialized, definitely. But I think the point that I want to make is a bit of a different one. So let's be honest. Let's all be honest with ourselves. Amritari Singhs marry non-Amritari Bibia, right? It's never the other way around. And I think there'll be a big issue if it was the other way around. That's what happened. So I think I want to implore everybody to think: what kind of message are we sending to Amritari girls or girls wanting to take Amrit? Actually, it's alright. You don't need to, because you'll still find a decent thing, because if we're compromising there, what we're also doing is we're diluting the standard of Sikhi for a whole gender, and I think that's a problem.
And I think, Baji, what you said there about the Rayatname very clearly says, Kanya deve Sikh ko leven hai kish dam, soi mera Sikh hai, paunche gur ke tam. That Pause.
Nah, it's cool. Sorry, the mic stand just come off from this one.
What part you say?
One second, let him finish his and then we'll come back.
So when you said that about the Rayatname say Kanya deve Sikh ko leven hai kish dam, soi mera Sikh hai, paunche gur ke tam. That actually you give your daughter Kanya Sikh nudil, so that you give your daughter to Sikh. And as Baji was saying there, if Gur Sikhs Singhs won't marry Amritari Bibia, not only do you lose the whole gender, but actually Sikhi maa to paida hundi hai kisi de bhi. Like me, my Sikhi come because my mum kept my gaze. So it's really important that we actually empower our sisters to become strong Amritari Bibia.
I think with that one, it's a difficult one because obviously what Baji said is bang on. We should stay like in Maryada, and obviously if you marry a Gursikh, 2 Gursikhs obviously would be the best case. But what would you say if, like, for example, if you get some people in the Amritari community who might think themselves a bit better than everybody else, and then obviously it causes that sort of influence, and maybe that's why Singhs are predominantly not going for maybe Amritari Bibia for that reason, maybe.
Well, I think Singhs are just as much to blame, right? So I don't think we can say that all Amritari Bibia or majority of Amritari Bibia think they're better. I think there'll be just as many Amritari Singhs that think the same way. So I guess, guys, that's my only point really, is I think the standard, if we allow this to happen, the standard that we set for Bibiyan who are wanting to take Amrit, the message is loud and clear. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the Dastar. Don't worry about Amrit. You're okay as you are. And I think that's a problem.
If Singhs don't marry Bibiyan, who's going to marry them?
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Should Sikhi move with the times?
Baba, I was at a wedding.
Yeah.
And a Singh come up to me.
Yeah.
He's at the wedding, uncle at the wedding. And he goes, because I had my shastra and I wear my bana.
Yeah.
Singh goes, tu inna badda Qurban kyun paaya? Then he goes, kashera kyun paaya, like, innit? So he goes, we're in a different age.
Yeah.
We're in a different society. He goes, why do you have the need to wear your shastra and your bana and your kashera?
Yeah.
He goes, those times are done.
Yeah.
When Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj is here. But then I turned around to him and I said, I was going to say something rude to him first. I know, mate. Yeah, but then I was like, listen, I've chose to take this path myself. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj created the Khalsa Panth. Yeah? Maharaj then gives us the Panch Kakar. Maharaj then gives us the uniform. It's up to you to choose if you wish to come onto this path first. Yeah? Sanu change kari jande hai. You're not changing yourself, but you want to change other people. We've chosen to come onto this path as Sikhi, innit? We've chosen to come out of the bad Sangat and come into the good Sangat. We've chosen to change ourselves personally, yeah? So, you know, and they say you have to change with the times, but what is changing with the times? To be in Kaljug.
But Baji, didn't Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj of them say, Jaisa this, Jaisa base, isn't it? That, you know, there came a time where Guru Sahib sent Singhs to Banaras to learn Vidya from those that in order to be accepted by them, you had to change the way you look, and Guru Sahib gave them that agya. So is that not, maybe we can take away from that in the day and age that we live in now, if we have to wear a separate uniform at work, it's okay, do you know what I mean? Maybe there is a level of, you can compromise.
You Panch Kakar then?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you going to compromise on your Panch Kakar? Right? So this is what we're talking about. How can, we've been given an identity. Yeah, Khalsa, we've been given a unique identity, yeah? We're not being given the identity of the Hindus. We're not being given the identity of the Christians. We're not being given the identity of the Musliman, yeah? Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj give us that own Khalsa identity, yeah? Guru Tegh Bahadur Maharaj give us the Shahidi for us, yeah? At that time, Maharaj goes, where was the Khalsa? So Maharaj give us now our identity. Our identity is going to be beyond futuristic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, once we're gone, our identity is still going to be here. So moving with the times, I think the times are going to be moving anyway. Yeah, we're going into certain eras and certain times that we've got to stay strong in our belief, just the same way the Christians are, the same way the Buddhists are, and the same way the Musliman are. Yeah, every Friday they go praying. COVID आ गई, गुरु घर बंद हो गए, साढ़े तक कोई नहीं जानता गुरु घर, उन्होंने दे हजे भी every Friday they go Jumma. Why? Because just because these epidemics happening, they're not going to compromise on their faith.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's some great points there, Baji, but I'm under the belief where we should compromise a little bit. Whereas when we're going to the office, for instance, it might be a bit difficult to wear like a 3-foot garban, such as like Baidea Singh Ji did, always wore a 3-foot garban. Or if you're like a prison officer, for instance, you might not be able to wear a garban. So how do we manage that?
One thing I wanted to share was, there's a lot of Mahapurush that have spent a lot of time in the army, and you can't question their Sikhi. Like in terms of spirituality, we can't say there's no one that's closer to Waheguru, but they still had to wear the bardi of the, you know what I mean, whatever it was, your army or your uniform. So I think it is acceptable. It's just when it comes to compromising your Sikhi, your spirituality, your beliefs, what you stand for, that's where it's, no, hold on a minute. Like Indy saying, I just want to ask you a question. I know you guys won a great battle against the laws here for Sikh boxers, wasn't it? Is it amateurs for your Dara?
Yeah, so the British Boxing Board of Control, their rule was that you can't have a beard and box. And obviously for us, it's an essential part of our form. It's something that we can't go without. You can't be Amritari or Kesdari or some people say a Sikh without your gears. So especially your Dari, and you know, we're a martial race, and boxing in this country is a big thing. So if we can be a part of it, it's a big thing. So, you know, good successful team. We had a few different people along with Sikh PA, and we fought that case, and we got that overturned in this country where you can now keep your beard and you can box.
That's brilliant.
So in terms of what we compromise and when, I think it comes down to, well, above and foremost for everyone, you shouldn't compromise the maryada given by your Ban Singh. Yeah. So when it comes to uniforms and that, yeah, you might have a bit of leeway, but obviously you wouldn't take off your Ban card. And it comes down to who you're trying to please. Are you trying to please your employers for what, financial gain, or are you trying to please Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj? And at the end of the day, in a more generic version, it comes down to the Khalsa is the army of the timeless. You know what I mean? We're mortals for a reason, and we abide, we follow the immortal God. So regardless of whatever society we're present in, we're going to outlast all these society trends, all these cultural trends, whatever image seems popular at the time, we'll outlast all of that. So I'd say we don't need to move with the times need to catch up with Sikhi.
And just to finish on one, I've just Saki come to my mind there when Baju saying, what do we compromise? And yeah, like he says, what the Panj Pyare give us as hukum, that's what we have to follow. Bhai Talokka ji, Gursikh of Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib ji, and they were a Sipahi in the Mughal army, because obviously you work for the people, you know, the government, don't you? You get government jobs just like many of us. You know, we work for different companies, we work for the government, because we have moved with the times, you know, so you do it wherever you find the job. They used to work for the Mughals, and what they were told basically, it's quite a long Saki, I'm just going to come to like the end of it. They were told that they're not allowed to carry a Shastar. They were told that they have to carry a Shastar, and they thought that it's actually, they had seen people kind of hunting and stuff, and at that time Sikhi hadn't really taken on the martial tradition formally. So what he would do is he would keep a wooden sword that they had given in the sheath, in the kind of in the cover of the army given sword. And one day they were going to get checked, they were getting their swords checked, and Bhai Talokka was he used to do Japji Sahib the part, loads of Japji Sahib the part, and as the generals coming down the line checking the swords, he did a Japji Sahib the part and said, Maharaj Dasi Laj Rakhlovi, I need this nokri because baal bacche I need to feed my kids. Main kirt ta karda, main daswand karda. I've not compromised my Sikhi, but I have to do this job. And the turn came for him to get his sword out, and he said down Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, he took out the wooden sword, and upon drawing it was the full kind of, let's say, army given standard sword. And that is how Sikhi doesn't move with the times, and we need to have brosa, like Baji said, who are we pleasing? Please the Guru, they'll sort everything.
Do you have to use Simran to do meditation?
Yeah, I think we've been given Simran as a form of meditation, but meditation is now being changed in the Western world. There's a lot of different words for it or associations, which is mindfulness, which is yoga, which is a few of these different words now are taking over from the traditional views of meditation. And my personal view is meditation gets you peace. It brings you peace. I think you can find peace in many ways. You know, doing seva of your parents, doing other kinds of seva, and yeah, of course, your traditional type of sitting there and bhakti meditation is definitely one of the most important ones. But there's people out there now who are releasing books, doing videos on all of this. But meditation has to be a lifestyle. It has to be your actions. It has to be the way you are day to day. It has to be a lifestyle, not just for an hour a day.
Guys, sorry, just to clarify at the start, none of us claim to be guys that have reached any level of spirituality here. So we're not trying to give no spiritual advice. We're just going off what we've heard from other Gursikhs around us that have done the Kamai, that have put the work in and have seen the results. So yeah, go on.
So like Western spiritualism is the technical term for this, right? So there's an insurgence of spirituality and belief of like getting to a feel good factor by doing mindfulness. There's even people like very much into like breathing techniques or focusing on your breathing, bringing your heartbeat down and kind of really focusing on it and stuff like that, and sitting for long periods of time, because again there's an insurgence of it in the West, that it brings you some sort of peace and some sort of tranquility. Simran or Bhakti in a Sikhi sense is that, plus the key ingredient without which everything is useless, is prem, is love. is a deep infatuation with God or our guru. Right? So this Western spiritualism that's being promoted is starting to kind of butt heads with traditional spirituality, because they have similar practices, right? So we're talking about breathing and sitting and postures and all that kind of stuff. But in kind of a religious or Sikhi point of view, there has to be that prem there, right? Because without that, really, in a Sikhi point of view, because pre-Guru Nanak Dev Ji, all the yogis were sitting there controlling their breathing for hundreds and hundreds of years. So these weren't invented by the Gurus, predate Sikhi a long time. What Guru Nanak Dev Ji brought about in it is they actually called them all out of actually your high feats of spirituality and breath control and mindfulness or whatever you're doing doesn't actually mean anything, because you don't actually have any love for Vaheguru or any love for what you're doing. It's kind of more of a show-off thing, right? So now it's show-off because it might be, you can be a mindfulness coach, or you can have a great Instagram feed if you're into spirituality. Whereas for the Guru, it was something to do more with love.
But just on that, there's a guy called Wim Hof. Has anyone heard of Wim Hof?
Dutch geezer.
So what he's done is he's found this breathing technique that's worked for him. Okay, and from practicing that breathing technique day in day out and mastering that technique, he's now gone on to perform amazing feats. Like he's climbed Mount Everest just in his shorts. He hasn't got the coats and all the armor on and stuff. He's going underwater and he's going under ice. And he's doing this from just his breathing techniques. And what he's done is he's passed those techniques on to other people as well. He's taught them these techniques, just the breathing techniques. And he's getting the same people to now swim under the water, swim under the ice. So my point is, just from that breathing, I've tried it, by the way. Just from the breathing technique, look at the results that we're seeing. Now, when I this is just me, maybe as I'm not a good muck, but when I do Simran, sometimes I might not find results. But when sometimes I'm doing these breathing techniques that I've been taught by Wim Hof, then all of a sudden I'm seeing improvements.
Have you tried that? Have you tried the breathing technique?
I have tried the breathing technique.
How did you feel after
that? So, in terms of concentration, sometimes your concentration is really focused in.
Yeah.
You feel a lot more relaxed. But when you're doing sports, like when you're running, when you're boxing and whatever, you do massively notice an improvement in your performance.
I think the key thing there, everything you said, Badi, is 100% correct, and it links with what Badi was saying before about this meditation stuff is not new. It is being rediscovered, as many things do throughout history. Things come in trends, but the key question is, what is the purpose behind your meditation? If the purpose behind your meditation is to swim underwater, at Sant Oksar side, Maharaj dug up a yogi that had been there for thousands of years. He was sat there. And these kind of stories still come up in the news. But if your purpose is to join one with God, then you need Simran. Because through the prem paida kidda hunda. So Paji was talking about love or true love. That gets paida by japping the naam of the Guru. All these meditation techniques will take you to great levels. Physically, beyond the physical realms, you will be able to do all of that. You will get loads of karamat. You'll be able to do riddhi and siddhi. You'll be able to do, kind of supernatural things. But if you want to join one with God, then you have to do Simran in terms of naam that the Guru has given us.
Yeah, and this is quite interesting. I think it links into that previous question we had as well about should we develop with the changing world. So look at that guy that you had this example of, that Wim Hof. So he does all these amazing feats, but we can't judge with how content is he on the inside. Do you know what I mean? And it's interesting to see that, the Western world, it is definitely now pushing on meditation, mindfulness and everything. So if you think about it, really, they're going back to more of a Bharata mindset where you do want to meditate. Yeah. So it shows you when they're stuck in this, they've had this, rat race, chasing economical things, chasing wealth and everything, but they're still not satisfied. They've still got that void within them. And Maharaj just taught us how to fill that void, and it's with Naam Simran.
And the key there, Maharaj gives us the mantra, the Vaheguru mantra. Yeah, so you've got the breathing techniques, but Maharaj then give us the Vaheguru for the breathing techniques. And you can say in different ways, Simran, sit down, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Say fast, say it slow, however you want to do. You can sing it. Maharaj has been giving us rag. Everything's in rag. You can sing it. Christians only started singing their praises when they put the Kale into slavery. Right, and it was only the Kale that were picking the cotton. Yeah, Maharaj, sing the Baniya in it. So the Naam Simran, Maharaj has already given us the mantra, which is the Vaheguru mantra. And Maharaj has already given us the techniques to sit there, but we're going to have Mandi Shanti in it. Man Jitte Jagjeet. We have to physically sit there. We have to physically jap the Naam. No one else can do it for you. You have to physically sit there and jap the mantra. Just like Winhoff, he physically sat there, done the breathing techniques, yeah, and then he succeeded. Maharaj could do beyond the Baniya in one breath. Yeah, we've been allocated so many breaths in this life. Just like the Buddhists say, they believe that they've got a certain amount of breaths before they leave this world. Sademungariya. So every time that we should be just thinking about Vaheguru. Those are the meditations every day, and slowly, day by day, will increase that.
I think what it is with the meditation is these people are tapping into like a energy or a different sort of frequency where they feel good for what they're doing. But the lucky thing that we could obtain all that just through Bani by itself. So this Jardi Kala that they're feeling, this high bliss, energetic, whatever they're feeling, doing these great ventures that they're doing, these things that we believe are unbelievable, but we come from a calm where Baba Deep Singh fought without a head. And that was all through Naam and Bani. So what I'm saying is it is like a rat race to find that destination we want to find. They're jumping hurdles to do it, and we can actually achieve it just through Bani and Naam.
And I just wanted to say, on going back to the question itself, do you have to do Simran to do meditation? Like Guru Sahib has gave us the most quickest, fastest route by giving us the Guru Mantra from Panj Pyare when we take Amrit, by giving us Red. Everything Guru Sahib has given us is the fastest, quickest route. So if somebody on Instagram or somebody on, Russell Brand show is saying there's this technique or you can do this to find peace, the best way to find peace is coming into the Sadh Sangat and singing Guru Sahib's praises, everybody doing Simran together with your family at home. You'll get every peace of mind, every peace, happiness within this life as well.